Hey everyone, I finished the East Blue for One Piece. Now, this is the first 11 volumes of One Piece, which means I have 100 more to read. but uh, besides the length, I wanted to talk about what I thought about it. I really liked this first saga, actually. Compared to its anime counterpart, it was paced incredibly. Something that took 60 episodes took a volume. This thing was really, really, really solid to read. Um, there are some upsides and are some downsides to the manga compared to the anime. But let's talk about the good things I really, really like, besides the pacing. The battles were super entertaining to read. I felt like they glided off the page really, really well. Sometimes it was a little bit iffy to read, but overall, most of everything was pretty great to read. And when it came to the words and to the paneling, I feel like Oda was really, really good at that. The world already, I can already tell this world is going to be super, super expansive, especially since, like, I with my experience with the anime, got to like right before Water 7, I think. Yeah, just before, no, just at the start of Water 7 is when I finished. So, yeah, it's pretty good, and like it was just really uh solidly like produced. I feel like this world is gonna be so expansive, and we're already getting like in-depth concepts with this Grand Line and all this different kind of stuff that I really can't explain deeply because, like I said before, well, I don't even know I said before, but well, I'm gonna say this now. This is not a review. This is just me and my thoughts on this first saga because I'm only gonna review this if I finish it. Like if I read it all, and then that's when I'm gonna review it. But yeah, until then, no. Um, and the Arlong arc was super well done. The Arlong arc was really, really, really well done. Compared to every other arc, I felt like it just swept the floor with it. My only issue is that a lot of the characters don't have a lot of depth to them. And look, it is the first 11 volumes, so I am going to give it a break. But you can have in-depth concepts in a short amount of time. If you read series like Death Note that are 12 volumes long, these characters are like crazily in-depthly done. And One Piece, yeah, it just didn't deliver with its characters a lot of the time. The only character that I felt like had enough in-depth writing to it was Nami. Because of Arlong and her little arc there, um, she got so much more attention than the other Straw Hats did. Now, Usopp and Sanji, I feel like are like second place to character writing so far because they've also had their own arcs to deal with this stuff. But characters like Zoro and Luffy, for me so far, are falling a little bit short. I still really, really like them, but I want to know more about them. And right now, they're just cool guys that punch people, especially Luffy on that hand, actually. I see his ambition, I see his goal. That's it's cool. But what and does annoy me is the fact that he just smiles and kind of beats the bad guy up, you know? And I'm really struggling to actually take Luffy as a character seriously. I know he's meant to have these gaggy moments, and that's cool, that's nice. But sometimes you're just like, I don't care. Um, Luffy did not make me laugh ever, if that's a thing that was Oda was trying to portray. But he did make me root for him during the Arlong end of the Arlong arc, which really makes me think Luffy will get better with time. It's gonna be like a kind of like an Asta situation, in my opinion. Like Asta as a character, very annoying in the first arc, first couple arcs, but then Asta becomes this really well done character, and I think that's what Luffy's gonna turn into. So I'm not dissing on Luffy. I'm just saying that there are some moments where I think Luffy just needs to pull his head in, and that you know, people are getting hurt and dying, such and such in the story, but it's just not getting taken seriously enough. And yeah, that just makes Luffy fall short a little bit for me. Uh, Zoro, though, on the other hand, which he gets called Zolo in the manga, by the way, I don't know why they put an L instead of an R. If that's the official translation, but he has a bit more character depth to Luffy, and I do like Zoro a little bit more than Luffy as of right now, because Zoro has that serious attitude to him. He gets serious, a lot more serious when he needs to, and Luffy does that. But I just can't take it seriously, for one way or another. But when it comes to Zoro, it's like, oh, he is actually knuckling down and getting serious about this. And that moment when he got beaten by Mihawk was, I feel like, such an important moment, and I feel like he did really need that. But he's still like a stranger to me. He's still a stranger character, and he still, I feel like, needs a proper arc to him, and then he'll get it better. Also, like, Zoro has his funny moments. Zoro does have his funny moments, but he can really knuckle down a lot more. And yeah, like I said, it's really hard to take Luffy seriously at times. Um, but that, like, his fights are great and they are entertaining. But those moments, like when he was standing up and from the rubble of the Arlong arc, and he was like, "Oh, Nami, you're one of us." I just couldn't take that seriously, and yeah, so I feel like he's obviously going to get better with time. He's gonna age better as a character. But yeah, there are just times where I just feel like, you know. But anyway, this is not a review. This is my thoughts on it, and I'm not gonna give it a rating. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I still really do recommend reading One Piece. I still think it's a really good series. But yeah, it's just like sometimes with the characters, I'm like, we could have a little bit more information squeezed out about them if we could. But yeah, overall, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.